la, la, la. We're live on the tube. Live on the tube. Live on the YouTube. Live on the TikTok. TikTok, you don't stop. Oh, dude, what's going on?
Dude, just do that.
We're notifying the viewers.
Man, just do
Dude,
that.
dude, they don't have enough bandwidth to notify.
What's up,
all our
Patty?
viewers.
Brando?
Patty, what's up, Patty?
Christian.
Great to see you, Christian.
Thank you guys for joining. You know the routine. Please fill up the chat box with all your questions, thoughts, concerns, statements, jokes, I don't know, political beliefs, whatever you want. Put them in the chat box.
Bunch of crapola.
Let us know what your thoughts are. We will answer all your questions, and we will tell you hi back, Christian. Noel in the house.
No, we're going to cover a lot of things today. If you want some deep topics covered, start dropping them in the chat. We're going to cover them. We're going to give you the facts, and we come with the receipts. I've been wanting to use that. We come with the receipts. We come with the proof. We're going to show you how things work and how you can actually get a house in 2024. Whether or not it's a good idea to refinance. What are the real rates? Is it a good idea to buy down the rate? Should I buy from a builder? These are all very good questions, and we are very glad you asked because we are going to answer every single one of them one at a time. And we're not just going to give you opinion. We're going to come with receipts. We're going to give you all the stuff that's actually the facts. Facts. I've been wanting to drop that one too. Facts. Christian, happy Thursday. Are you here to learn today, Christian? If you are, ask us what you're looking to learn because we will help you. We will help you. We're going to talk about the trends in the market, what's going on. We're going to talk about percentage balance of loan type that are 90 days delinquent. Now, if you guys like this stuff, then we will, if you want the charts, I will send you the charts. You just got to text us. Text us and say, hey, send me that chart. But here, I'm going to put it right up here, and I'm going to show you what all this is. Okay, so the blue line is credit cards. So in credit cards, this is 2003. This is 2024 current. Okay, this is about 2011, 2012 when the crash happened. 9, 10, 11, so in that range. So credit cards went all the way high, and they were at the most delinquent ever. And then after the crash, less delinquent, but now we're going back up. We're not as bad as then, but we were pretty bad. And then look at the yellow line. It's hard to see the yellow line, but here's the yellow line, and this is mortgages. And mortgages were really high right here in 2009, really high. Where are they right now? Right here. Lowest delinquency like ever. So, is there a crash coming? Probably not. There's a lot of reasons. And the media will lie to you. I don't know if you know this, but they will lie to you and tell you the truth in the same exact sentence. And they do that because they need clickbait. Can you say clickbait? Go ahead.
Alfredo Garcia, 6411, mucho caliente is a fact. Where do you live, Alfredo? Is it hot where you're at? Because it's not where we're at.
Yeah, it's really cold here, ironically.
It's so weird. Because it should be like summer weather right now.
Yeah, it should be weird. In the 80s, 90s. We're in the 70s. It's weird.
Stupid California.
Yeah, stupid California.
Christian Noel said always willing to learn. I love that.
So Winston Churchill said this, and I learned it when I was a kid, and I love it. He says, I am always willing to learn, although I may not like being taught. And I thought that was amazing because that's my perspective. I'm always willing to learn, although I may not like being taught. Anyway,
CCG, look who it is. CCG is the really smart one who watches us for an hour and that actually gives us the time. Hey, you got 4 minutes till you leave. I like CCG. Daniel, can you back out of your loan if it is an underwriting?
Daniel, yeah. Can you back out of your contract? Maybe not. Sometimes they can force you to finish the contract. But can you back out of the loan? Oh, that's easy. You don't even have to back out. Just go to the car dealership and lease a car, and your loan's done. It's gone. You won't qualify anymore.
Don't you have a new car?
Yeah, you'll have a new car.
CCG, that sounds boring. Let's talk about the weather instead.
I think so, CCG.
CCG says, I don't know what he said.
All right,
Ridgeville, is a bridge loan a good idea?
Ridgeville Bridge Loans. Okay, so you have to understand the concept. The concept is, hey, I got this spot right here. And if everything goes right, I'll be in this spot right here. But they don't touch, so I can't get a loan that overlaps. I need a bridge loan. I need a loan that's going to make sure I get from here to here. That's a bridge loan. However, if that bridge loan doesn't get you here, you're kind of screwed because bridge loans don't have good terms. Bridge loans have horrible terms, like mafia terms. They're like, hey, I'll lend you 10 grand for a month and I only charge you $100 for that, which is okay. But if you go to 2 months, you owe me 20 grand. And they're like, I'm not going to 2 months. I can make that. And if you do, great. It was a great thing. The bridge loan worked. It did its job. But if you don't,
CCG,
it hurts.
Stop spamming. One question at a time. You tell them, CCG. So bridge loans are just like any other loan that's non-traditional. The terms aren't the best. Using a bridge loan is not for a regular person that's doing regular things. These are big boy games with big boy responsibilities and big boy repercussions if you can't make things happen. So
Broken kneecaps.
get ready to write those checks or run fast.
Yeah.
You're going to got to run faster than everybody else, the one that's trying to break your kneecaps. And deal with it. So all these moves, guys, there's no good idea or bad idea. It's just, one, is it appropriate or inappropriate? Two, can you pull it off? And if you can pull it off and you can bet on yourself and you have a high degree of certainty, then yeah, sure, do it. If you have a very low degree of certainty and you can't bet on yourself, I'd probably steer away from it.
Steer away from it.
So what else, man? What else is going on with these charts? Actually, these charts are really cool, guys, because Lee has a thing that he says where he says perspective. What is it? Percentage without perspective is bullshit.
Yes.
Okay. So when you hear people say 300% up, 300% down, 200% up, twice as much, or whatever the case may be, well, where are you starting? What's your starting point that you're actually calculating this from? And when you do hear the news, it's all about eyeballs and headlines. So yeah, they're just trying to grab your attention, scare you a little bit, keep your attention so that you don't really know what the truth is that's going on. But these charts break it all down. They gives you the facts.
CCG says, I'll frame these charts and hand them up so I look smart. You're right. All I want to do is re-smart. I want to be smart.
He wants to re-smart.
I want to re-smart myself because I'm not that smart lately, so I'm going to try and help you. Anyway, here, this is a chart. It's foreclosures. It's actually foreclosures by age. This tells you what age is foreclosing on. And the colors are the different ages. The colors, the lowest obviously is the older people, and as they get younger, it gets more foreclosure. But here's the here's the key. The key is this is 2003 right here. This is the foreclosures across the United States. This right here is 2009, right here, 2009, 10, 11, 12. So when I say 10, 11, 12, this is the period of time I'm talking about. And then that's what the big crash. Everybody says, so this is foreclosures in 03. This is the big crash. And then they went down to a foreclosure moratorium, which it was illegal to foreclosure. Then, right here, we're in 24, and we're up a little bit. We're up a little bit. However, if you write the news and you say, hey, we're up 300%, you're not lying, you're telling the truth. You are telling the truth. So we're up 300% from 2 years ago. That's true. That is 100% true. However, if you look at it in the totality, we're not even up to 03 levels of foreclosures. So when people say there's going to be a crash, yeah, not happening. Not happening. Just not happening. Cool.
CCG, what do you do for a living? Honestly, what do you do for a living? And where do you live?
Yeah.
I think we need to invite you on. If you're local, I'd like to meet you in person and invite you on so you can share some of this stuff with us.
I want to be smart like the mortgage guy. So do we. We look at ourselves every day and we're like, hey, we want to be smart like those guys. Yeah. Anyway.
Ridgeville, house is worth $265. I owe $44. I think want to buy a house, best way. Want to buy another house, I think is the question. And what are you going to do with the house? Are you keeping it? Are you selling it? So give a little bit more detail, Ridgeville.
Yeah, Ridgeville, give us some good details. We're working. You're covering Chris. We can't see. You're right. The only thing we want to do is see Chris. So when I'm talking, the only problem is if I cover me, I can't see me in the screen. And the most important thing in my life is seeing me.
Where'd I go?
For me, the most important thing is seeing me and giving you the data.
You know when a mom walks away from a baby? That's what happens to Lee when he can't see himself.
I can't see myself when the mirrors are gone. I'm like, where am I? Where did I go?
Foreclosures need to pick back up, said user 7867.
Yeah, maybe they do, maybe they don't. They probably won't. They probably won't. I do see the camp that says they might need to, but here's the problem. Everybody has equity, and they're not going to walk away from equity. It's self-driven interest. It's the reason that assumptions aren't such a great product. The reason assumptions aren't a great product is nobody's getting paid, so nobody's incentivized to do anything. They take forever. Nobody cares. The only one who cares is the person making the assumption because they think they're getting over. But the problem is, it's not so simple. Well, yeah.
He also said no crash happening. Yeah, no crash happening.
Yeah, no
Nowhere
crash.
inside at least.
Yeah.
CCG actually went up when you covered Christmas. The views went up. I'm a homemaker. Wife works. I cook, clean, do credit. Arizona.
Ooh. Cool.
Come on.
What is going on here, man? What
Come
are you doing?
Ridgeville said sell. Okay.
Sell. Okay.
Wife is VP at large, well-known company.
CCJ.
My job is cook, clean, and I mod credit lines.
All right, cool. So you help with credit repair. Credit repair. Good for you. Yeah, actually, we are always looking for good credit repair people that aren't just trying to make money. I got no problem with people making money, but they got to do good for their clients.
Do you do good, CCG?
If you do good? Yeah, if you do good for your clients, we want to work with you. We do.
Oh, credit cards are great. Duh.
Oh, yeah. CCG. Dude.
All right, Steven with a question. If I have a 600 credit score and make $32,000 a year, what are my options?
600 credit score and $32,000 a year. Steven, I'm going to be nice. The first option is you need probably a higher credit score. You didn't give me your down payment. And a 600 credit score is not good. That's not good. I will say that you can get in an FHA for 580. If you have a lot of money for down, you might even get in below 500 or up to 500. However, you did something that caused that 600 FICO. You didn't pay somebody on time, you're delinquent on something, and depending on what is causing that 600 FICO, that may stop you from buying a house. The next thing is, what part of the country do you live in? If you make $32,000 a year, with today's interest rates, what's the best you qualify for? No debt. No debt. No debt.
So I would say 150?
Yeah, 150, probably 150, no debt. Now, somewhere in that range, 150 no debt would be if you have good credit. But if you have bad credit, your rates are going to be worse. And things are not going to be great. Now, there are some places where you can get a house for $150,000. Some places in Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Georgia, Detroit. Detroit, you'll probably get a house for that. But it's not going to qualify.
It's in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, you might be able to do that. There's some areas in Minnesota. So, two things. One, you got to get that credit score up. And the way you do that is address the things that are problems. You can talk with us. We'll pull your credit. We'll find out. We'll give you an idea. There are credit repair companies all over the place. In fact, we're talking with a guy who runs a credit repair company. I can't vouch for him just yet, but I can say he's on our live all the time. We do have many options. We probably have 5 people in our Rolodex that we send people to, like every day, send people to. But we don't care who you use. We don't care as long as they're good and they actually do the job. Be careful because there's a lot of credit repair scammers out there. Ooh, yeah. A lot of them. A lot of them. And we don't vouch for anybody till they actually do good for our clients. So you need to fix that. And your $32,000 a year, if you're okay with the purchase price that we give you, $150, $140, $130, somewhere in that range, then you're good. But if not, you need more income, and you can do that through an occupant co-borrower, someone who goes on the loan and lives with you, or a non-occupant co-borrower, someone who goes on the loan and doesn't live with you, but they're also responsible for the loan. So just keep all that in mind. It's doable. But that's the reality of where you're at.
Co-borrowers are the most popular that they've ever been in the history of me doing loans. So, if you're thinking about buying a house, probably want to loan up a cosigner just in case. Ridgeville, should I sell first, then buy? I don't know. What are your goals, man?
Yeah, it depends on what you're trying to do. Because if you sell and then you think you can automatically buy, sometimes it doesn't work out like that. So we need to know a little bit more about what's going on. We need to know how much money you're going to get. We need what's called a final settlement statement. If you're going to be selling, we're doing right now where someone's selling a house in California, buying a house in Las Vegas, and they're getting, call it $300,000 on the sale of their house. That 300 grand is going to the purchase. The loan isn't very big, but they're getting a nice, big, beautiful house. In that scenario, it worked out. We have to know your scenario.
Ridgeville, let's start here. What's your income? What's your credit score? How much in assets do you have? And how much equity is in your property right now? Okay, let's start there and we'll give you a little bit of direction, okay? Let's see. Where else are we? All right. CCG. I'm on for that guy, Ricardo, and Funny Leon Diaz, who's verified checkmark. Both have 400 plus followers. Both do credit repair and mod for a few other similar lives, but these are the two main ones.
Mod. Help me.
What
does mod mean? I do know that Funny Leonidas. I actually reached out to him one time because he's on my feed and I was watching him and I was like, hey, this guy looks like he knows what we're talking about. I reached out to him. I said, hey, I kind of have a big following. Might want to send some clients your way. Nothing. Sent a couple more and I was like, fine, moving on. Guy? Yeah, he's a credit repair guy. Okay. And he's live all the time. He's live all the time. And it seems like he's like us. He knows his shit and he hits the stuff. So I kind of like I kind of like watching his feed. I watch it all the time because I got a life.
But you know who Funny Leonidas is.
I do. What does mod do? What does mod mean?
I would assume it's a modification. So I'm assuming he's shutting down the credit and putting it back into affordable terms, almost like maybe a
moderator. Maybe moderator. I moderate a few other small lives, like we're live.
Oh.
But these are the two main ones. I think I get it.
DJ Cretenden, 620 credit, wife 650 combined. Okay. Combined income 140, 15K down, 2K a month in debt. That's actually not a bad file.
That's a hell of a file.
Not a bad file at all.
You're probably cracking 480, maybe more. No. 580. Hold on, let me look at it again. How much income? And 140 income, yeah.
140 G's,
580, yeah, 580.
DJ's
580.
Balling.
580.
Love it, man. Keep that up.
Yeah.
You gonna buy or what? So if you guys are interested in purchasing a home, go to the link in the bio, click on apply for a home loan now. Take you about 3 minutes to put in the data. Depending if you have the documents, it takes you about 30 seconds to upload. We'll get you guys rolling.
Whoever's hearting us up, we appreciate you on TikTok. Thank you very much. Whoever keeps giving us those thumbs up on Instagram, we appreciate you too. And not a lot of people on YouTube anymore, so whatever. So, better to cash out or HELOC? What do you think?
Okay, so we're doing a cash out right now, and it makes sense to do this cash out. But most people are doing HELOCs, okay? Most people have a mortgage from 2022 backwards, so 21, 20, 19, 18, blah, 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 blah. And most people who bought a house between 2012 through 2022 have a rate lower than current rates today. So those people are likely to do a HELOC because all you're going to do is take a portion of the money, give it the ugly interest rate, and have a larger payment just on this one piece and leave your current mortgage alone. But if you have bought a house in the last couple of years and you want to do a HELOC, it may be better to do a cash out because everything's going to be combined in a lower rate. A HELOC is going to be much higher than traditional financing as far as the interest rate is concerned. So depends on your situation. Most people are doing HELOCs. Very small percentage are doing regular cash out refinances, but it does make sense in those scenarios.
Yeah, CCG says I'd never do a HELOC, and maybe it's probably not good for you. Probably not. But some people, if you're in a 3% rate, because I get this a lot. Someone's like, hey, I bought a house with you about 6 years ago. My rate is 2.75%. I bought it at $300,000. The house is now worth $600,000. Lee, I need $50,000 in order to fix some stuff in the backyard. Should I do a cash out refi? And I'm like, oh, God, I hate to say this, but no. You know why? Because you're at 2.75% rate. That's insane. That's insanely low. And if I refinance you entirely, you would be at 7.5%, which is not a small difference in payment. It's a large difference in payment. You'd get your 50 G's. But if you did a HELOC, you're still going to get a horrible rate. They're not good rates. None of them are good rates. But you keep that $300,000 intact at 2.75%. That's important.
So Elite Josh said he bought an investment condo cash and wants to reinvest. So you want to suck the money out of that investment property and buy something else, correct? That's what you want to do. In that scenario, a cash out would be better, just because of your terms. Your terms are going to be better, even though it's an investment property.
Follow and share us. Thank you, CCG. We're not TikTok pros. We just go live and talk loans. So there's some people who come on and say, hey, I can help you get your following up for 20 grand or whatever. They're trying to charge us all the time to do stuff. We're like, we got a pretty decent following right now, although TikTok's not doing so good. Actually, Instagram's doing better right now than TikTok is. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you are watching us on TikTok, please follow and share. Like the video. Thank you very much for everybody who's doing it. We appreciate you guys immensely. What are you doing?
I'm waiting to finish the freaking statement I was just making when you were like, follow and share. So yeah, if you're gonna suck the money out of the house, I would use a cash out refinance. HELOC's gonna give you worse terms. Plus what CCG just said, he is correct. HELOCs are just like credit cards. Okay, so when you do max a credit card, let's say you want 100 grand, and you take the whole 100 grand of a HELOC, it's gonna be a max credit card. It'll slowly come down, but that will worsen your scores. Now the best thing to do if you're gonna do a HELOC, let's say you want $20,000, get a $40,000 HELOC, only access 20. And then you're going to pay that down. It's not going to affect your credit as bad as if you were to take the whole amount. So in your situation, yes, take the money out through a cash out refinance. Okay, back to this, man. I want to hear more about this.
Okay, so this is foreclosures by age, and they actually break down how old the people are. So if you look at the ones, so gray is 70 plus, and like it's at the top here. And I guess when you're 70 plus, you default because that would
No. That little tiny chunk, this is 100% of the people. That little tiny chunk is the 70s. So it's saying the smallest group of people defaulted in this time is in their 70s. But it's the same all the way through. So right now, the smallest group of people are the 70-year-olds plus that are defaulting. The biggest group is the red and the yellow, which is the 30 to 39 and 40 to 49.
So this is the chart right here. If you guys want to, just text us. We'll send you a screenshot of the chart. We are good for you. And what this is saying is that foreclosures, they are up. They are up. But they're nowhere near 2009 levels. Nowhere near 2009. Not even close. They're not even at 03 levels. Foreclosures are in a very respectable spot, and largely because there's a lot of equity in houses, like a lot of equity. People are house trapped a lot, not a little bit, a lot. We deal with people all the time that are trapped in their house. They're like, hey, 5 years ago, they're like, I'm gonna buy me a starter home for 300 grand or 500 grand, either one. So I'm gonna buy me a starter home. They're like, okay, cool, I'm time to move up. They're like, I can't get another house. I'm trapped in this house. Hey, I got $300,000 in equity. That sounds wonderful. Can't touch it unless I do a HELOC, but I want to do a HELOC. I can't move, and I can't even afford rent because rent would cost more than my mortgage. So guess what? I'm trapped, and I'm going to make that mortgage payment, which results in less foreclosures. That's what's happening right now.
DJ Crittenden. How do you say that? What is subject to? Ooh, you love subject to.
I love subject
He
to.
loves
Okay.
some subject.
DJ.
TC's coming in the conversation.
DJ, you're not going to like this. Maybe you are going to like it. Well, if you're here to learn, you probably will like it. Subject to is a bullshit way that people are trying to make money online right now. Subject to is a bullshit way, and they will make it sound genius. I mean, they will make it sound amazing. Let me explain to you how. Let me explain to you how. Let's just say I had an account and I was saying, hey, foreclosures are up 300% in the last 2 years. Well, I would not be lying because there's a foreclosure moratorium in 20 and 21, but now foreclosures are up 300%. So I'm telling you the truth. However, if you take it into the big picture and you realize in 09 foreclosures were at this level, and in 03 they were at this level, which is higher than here, then you realize the shit that I'm telling you is just shit. It's just time-sensitive crap. It's not even real, but it's the truth. So here's subject two. Subject two is, hey, I'm willing to buy your house. I'm going to take over the loan. You don't have to take your name out of it. No, you don't have to take your name out of it. I'm going to just pay you and you pay the mortgage payment. And you're like, hey, can we do that? Subject two, sure. Absolutely. And can you? Yes, you can. And there are a lot of people on TikTok right now saying this is how you make a fortune. But here's the problem. By doing that, you took out the lender, you took out the loan officer, you took out the realtor, which sounds like a good deal. However, let's just say you're the guy who sold the house subject to. And 4 years later, the person who took over the payments just had bad times and they defaulted. Guess who is in trouble? The one who sold the house, because that loan is still in their name. So they bought the house, somebody else bought the house, and they assumed the loan. However, they never did it through the system, and because of that, they have a clouded title. So now you have a buyer who's screwed and a seller who's screwed, and the person who put the subject to contract made his money and moved on. Now, who do they come after? The guy who made his money? Shit, he's not going to be anywhere to be found, and he probably is smart enough to hide all his assets. He probably already spent it all, the truth of the matter is. Because you didn't have a licensed loan officer, you didn't have a realtor, you didn't have a bank involved, you didn't have all these protections involved, it looks like you got away with something. But it's junk. Prove me wrong. Boom.
Elite Joshua, what percentage of the rent that I collect do I get to credit for if I cash out refi? I think he's asking how much can be income. So he makes money on rent, pays debts. This is a tax question, Elite Joshua.
Yeah, I'm trying to think that's
really,
I can't answer it.
Well, it's a really good question, though, because here's what people do. So they use their rentals to wash their taxes, to literally bring down their tax liability. So let's say you collect $2,000 a month, 12 months, $24,000 a year, okay? But you had $10,000 in expenses for flooring, $10,000 in expenses for a roof, $10,000 in expenses for plumbing. You have $30,000 in expenses, but you only brought in 24. You get to bring it down negative $6,000 for that year.
What, you lost money?
You lose money. Many landlords do this because it brings down their tax liability. And if that's the case, you made negative $6,000 that year. Now, the way to do it, if you want to use income from this, is to show positive income. So you brought in $24,000 and you only had $12,000 in expenses, which leaves $12,000 positive income for the year.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what happens for that $12,000 positive income?
What happened?
IRS says, we want some taxes.
Yeah.
You got to pay us some money. You made money, so we want money. So you're going to get bit either side of that snake. So if you really want to use that money to move on, you got to pay your taxes. You got to show positive income. You have to be able to do that to move forward. You also need 2 years. You need 2 years of taxes just like that. They're going to average them. If you have ascending income, it's going to be a 24-month average. If you have descending income, they're going to use the lesser of the two.
So DJ Crichton says the mortgage can be transferred over, question mark? So here's the answer to that. It's a little complicated, but it's simple. When I underwrite you for a loan, I don't underwrite you, but the underwriter does. But when I qualify you for a loan, I pull in your income, your assets, your credit score. There's a loan to value situation, and you go through full underwriting. So then I qualify a person for the loan. That person is qualified. They don't just get to transfer it to whoever they want to. They can't just say, hey, you know what? I'm not feeling this loan anymore. I'm sending it to the bum on the street or my cousin Vinny or whoever. You can't just transfer the loan.
That was a good movie.
You like that? That was a very good movie. So you can't just transfer the loan. You can't just transfer the loan. However, there is a process where somebody can go in and assume the loan. That's what I was talking about, is assumptions. Now, if you say, hey, Mr. Bank, do you permit assumptions? And the bank permits it. Hey, Mr. Servicer, do you permit assumptions? So there's two people involved, the investor and the servicer. And if they both permit assumptions, then the person can go, all right, here's my income. You have to provide last 2 years of income, current paycheck stubs, and here's my bank statement, how much money I have in the bank. Here's my credit score. Can you please underwrite me for this loan so I can assume the loan? Can that happen? Yes. Here's the problem with that. There's nobody incentivized to push it through. The bank has already established the loan and they already made all their money. Why would they want to send an underwriter that costs them money when they make the exact same amount of money? It doesn't change. There's no loan officer pushing it. There's no realtor pushing it. But there is some guy on TikTok or Instagram telling you you can be a trillionaire next week by doing subject twos. Buy my course. If you buy my course, I will show you how. Now,
For
on
only
the
$10,000.
yeah, for only $10,000, Tom Cruise. So I will show you how to do subject twos. Actually, he's subject A. He's not subject two. So, no, he is subject to. So anyway, so can it be done? It's like this. If I told you, hey, foreclosures are up 200% in the last 2 years, foreclosures are going crazy. Am I lying to you? I'm not lying to you. But if you understand the big picture, you're not getting the truth. You're getting a very subjective piece of data that is not wrong, but in totality, it doesn't work. Subject twos will fall apart down the road. They will. There's no way around it. They will. They'll fall apart. It's been in the bank's best interest because interest rates have been going up for the last, 6, 7 years. So they don't really foreclose on people. But when they go down, and they will, all these subject two deals are going to fall apart. Anyway.
Okay, cool. Let me show you guys something else. So more of the BS stories that you hear from the news, okay? So if inflation's through the roof, we are using credit cards like we haven't in a long time. But what you hear on the news is what?
Great.
Credit card debt is at an all-time high.
Wasn't ready.
It's at an all-time high. It's never been like this in history. We've surpassed $1 trillion in credit card debt. But according to this chart, if you follow it, what happened was credit card debt was at an all-time high. When? In 2008. In 2008, when we actually had a real economic crash. That's when it was at an all-time high. But today, we've gone up pretty fast in a very short window of time. We are higher than where we've been, but we're nowhere near the all-time high. So remember, guys, the news they're lying to you. They're just lying to you blatantly to your face, like your current president, lying to you, not giving you the facts, and telling you things that just aren't true.
Dude, you went there.
I went there.
Yes, you did.
I crossed that line.
Yep.
I'm not afraid to go toe-to-toe.
I mean, if cash out, refi, rent, collect, cover the payment, would it work against me?
Good question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get my head around it.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing that I just said. It's the same exact thing that I just said. So you're an investor. You're a big boy. You're not the regular person, mom and pa, husband and wife buying houses one at a time and that's it. You're an investor. You're a big boy. So prove that you make enough money to buy this new home. Okay. So currently you have your primary residence. I'm sure of it if you own investment property. Then you have your investment property. You got 2 mortgages that this person's covering. You have a renter in here. Your renter should be covering this mortgage. Your renter should be covering the expenses of this property. You should have a net positive cash flow on this rental property, okay? Now you want to go to the bank and say, hey, I want to take money out of this investment that I have. They say, cool. Show me that you make enough money. So you're going to give them your income docs if you have a job. You're going to give them your retirement docs if you're retired. And then you're going to show them your taxes of how you've been managing this investment. And this investment brings in money every single month. I know if you really own a property, you know that it costs you money every month to maintain this thing.
Schedule E.
That's exactly what it is. That's what you're filing on your Schedule E on your 1040 taxes, okay? Now, what happens is you're going to get a call saying, hey, the air conditioner went out. You're going to get a call from if you have HOA, from the HOA company saying, hey, you're not following guidelines, you have to replace this. You're going to get a call because there's a leak. You're going to get a call because the light bulbs went out. Whatever it is that you're going to cover as a landlord, those are your expenses. So you bring in this money every single month, which accumulates over the year, and then you put money out every month for the mortgage and for the expenses that you're doing for your tenant. And at the end of the day, there's going to be either a positive income or a negative income. And if you're positive, you get to use that money. If you're negative, we have to take that money away from your current income that you're earning or that you make during retirement. Mm-hmm. So it's just math. It will work against you if you have a lot of write-offs that's below what you're bringing in. Now, can you par out? 100% you can par out. So you can bring in money every single month and you can put out money every single month and your tax person can make it 0. So in that scenario, your mortgage doesn't count against you because everything's covered. You just don't make any money. But You have to have a good CPA. You have to have a good tax guy to have to understand what you're trying to accomplish. It's real simple. When you talk to your tax person, just, I can't be negative on this. I need my mortgage to be washed because I'm buying a house. A good CPA is going to understand what you're saying.
Also, there is something called depreciation and depletion. Depreciation and depletion on your standard loan can be added back in. So, if you have real estate and real estate income, your accountant, CPA, or whoever will know what depreciation and depreciation is. Depletion and depreciation. Did I say that right?
Diplo.
Diplo. Okay. So if they use it correctly, we're able to add that back in. It's very exciting when I do a tax return. I'm like,
He gets excited. He's like,
I'm like, hey, I get to put
why are you having a good
back.
day? He's like, I got right off.
Back. So, okay, I thought you would never get credit for full rent, only 75%.
That's only on a new purchase.
And that's a guideline, by the way. That is a guideline. You're quoting a guideline
You a
here.
loan officer,
Yeah,
bro?
I know you're a loan
You
officer.
testing me?
That's a guideline. Tell them the guideline. Tell them the guideline.
So when you're buying a property, that's going to be an investment property, they will give you 25% of the rents in that area. It's not a number that you make up. It's not a number that the realtor makes up. It's the number that the appraiser goes out there and does an actual investigation and produces a rent roll and says, this property will rent for this amount based on this neighborhood, up to 75% of that total rent amount.
Dude, what's a rent roll? You just used a big old word. What's a rent roll?
Man. So in your neighborhood, based on the economics, based on the prices of houses, based on socioeconomics, all those things that are going on, there's an appropriate amount that these houses rent for in this neighborhood. So if you go to Beverly Hills, rents for a certain number. If you go to the slums, rents for a certain number. And the appraiser will do the due diligence to figure out what that number is. And you're going to use 75% of that. But that's only on your new purchase. It does not count for the home that you currently own.
I like when people pull out these guidelines because they either got told it by a loan officer or they are a loan officer. Either way, we love it. We love when you guys, if you're a loan officer, we appreciate you showing up. If you're a realtor, we appreciate you showing up. We have no problem justifying everything we say. We have no problem with that. And for the subject to questions, I love that. I went down that course. Tom Cruise landed up in my feed. I started going, all right, this is something. Ooh, I don't like this part. Ooh, I don't like that. And then I went to a couple of his lives and I'm like, oh, you're selling this for 10 grand? And then not only that, I actually have some people that paid. And then once you get in there, they bump you for more stuff. And then you can't get your money back. And he's pretty well protected. And I said, well, is this entirely wrong? I'm like, not entirely wrong, but he's claiming that all this money is Section 8 money. And if I do the simple reverse engineer math, it's course sales. He's making a shitload on course sales. More power to him.
Banking.
He's banking on course sales.
No, he does it. He does it brilliantly.
It's so good.
It's awesome.
Oh, I loved it.
Awesome.
I told Chris, I said, hey, you got to watch this. Take a day out and watch this. So you have to register for his class. So you register so they can get your email. So you won't come back over and over and over again. I'm like, I see why. You can't keep coming back because the software will kill the email. Then what happens is you go there and like, okay, cool. Hey, I'm going to teach you how to do this. And he'll pull up real shit. He'll pull up Zillow. He'll pull up certain things and he'll go, okay, look, this is how I do it. This is how I do it. He'll give you real data just like this is. He'll give you real data. And then he'll say, listen, if there's a few guys who are going to step up and actually do something with your life, and most of you just aren't. So for the ones that will do something, I have 8 slots at a special deal for you only. For you only today, bro. For you only. $6 grand. Oh, you want the software too? $8 grand. So for you only, bro. Okay, so this is only going to go for so long. And then he uses an auction style, which is called mass psychology mentality. And he's like, okay, cool. I've only got 7 more left. Whoever wants to. Oh, Maria 1, 2, 3, 4. I got yours right here. I appreciate you. I only got 6 left. Hey guys, I can only do this once in a while, because I have to get these people on their feet before we start moving forward. But then after they start moving forward, I'll do it again. But it could be months, could be years before I do it. It's going to be next Tuesday. Or every Tuesday and Thursday or whenever it is. So I watch this and I'm like, this guy's pretty damn good. It's a gigantic effing scam. I don't know about scam. I have to be careful with that word. But it's a gigantic scheme. It's your scheme. But I'm like, yeah, he's using psychology. He's using takeaway in a sales prospect. He's using all kinds of stuff, and he's getting real money. Now, because he has to use a credit card company, if you use the credit card, you can get your money back because you can say, I didn't get the stuff, and you get your money back, but that's already factored into the cost of business. So he's already put in, hey, there's no refunds. In fact, if you do it this way, I'll give you a discount. And because if you understand the system, and the only way you can understand the system is to live in it long enough. And I understand that if you use a credit card and you say, hey, this is fraud, the credit card will say, hey, you got to give me my money back. And the vendor will give the money back because they don't want to lose the ability to use a credit card. But they're going to fight it for a while. And inside of that, it's just the cost of doing business. So every time this guy lights up and does $50,000 worth of sales in a day, $25,000 are going to charge back, but he still netted 25 G's. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't do Section 8 because I actually believe he does Section 8. I did a property profile pull on the guy, and he's got a lot of Section 8 properties. But that would be like us selling a course on loan officers. Yes, we are loan officers. Yes, we close loans. But if we started making $100,000 a week by selling a course, the truth is we're selling courses. We happen to be a loan officer as a side effect. That's the reality of it. And a lot of people don't like to hear that. They get big mad.
And it's not $50,000 in a day. It's $50,000 in 40 minutes.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Because he goes 10, 9, 8, 7, all the way to, all right, last one, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
And then out. There's a part of me that's just like super monster respect for this, man. Super for you being able to put all this stuff together and be able to scam people on such a giant level. There's a part of me that respects that ingenuity and ability to make this thing continue going. And there's another part of me that's so angry. Because if you have a high intellect like that and you use it to scam people, I can't stand that. I get so mad. Anyway, moving right along. Cool.
Now, Tiger Joshua, thanks for the info. I'm neither. So you're not a loan officer or anything.
Yeah, okay.
Only misinformed.
Okay.
Hey, dude, don't worry about it. We're here to help.
Yeah.
And don't watch the news. The news is garbage.
Yeah.
Find independent sources or podcasts to get your data, guys, because that's where the real data is.
And I will also say, don't believe everything we say. Check it. Google it. Google it while
with
we're
that.
live. Yeah, Google it while we're live. If we're wrong, you can find out because most of the guidelines are available to everybody. You can go to the VA handbook and even pull VA guidelines. VA handbook is online. If I tell you there is no FICO requirement on a VA loan, it's in the VA handbook. There's some guys out there going, my man, my guy, let me tell you, I can do VA loans all the way down to 580. I'm like, everybody can. Anybody that can do VA loans can do, unless you got an overlay at your lender. And that's the part that they don't tell you. See, the beautiful part about living in the technology age is everything can be checked. Anything we say can be checked. We know it when we're saying it. We have licenses, 944-254.
1066958.
And we want to protect those, so we make sure we give you the truth about buying a house in 2024. We talk the realities of FHA. We talk the realities of Home Ready, Home Possible. A lot of loan officers will hide behind, well, you might qualify for your first-time home buyer program. I'm like, get out of here with that shit. Or, hey, I might be able to get you 20% down for your house. Get out of here with that shit. That's not, here's the reality of all of it. And we put it out there. And we challenge people, come at us. Come at us, bro.
Come at me, bro.
Anyway.
Come at me, bro.
What
about that 20% down that California is giving you to buy a house?
They're not giving it to you.
They're
That's
not.
the problem.
What?
Yeah, the loan officers, when they first got it, they ran with it like, hey, we might be able to get you qualified for a 20% down. Yeah. Yeah, 20%. And they were putting out videos like crazy. They're not out there anymore. But they were putting videos out going, hey, 20% down. You better come to me real fast. Because I am the chosen one. I know. I'm the chosen one. You don't understand. I'm the chosen one. I'm the only one who can do it. Truth is, it's a CalHAFA program. And any lender that's qualified with CalHAFA was allowed to do this. What? Yeah, any lender. Some lenders aren't, so they're not lying in that perspective. They're saying, hey, I'm an authorized loan officer for this. Yeah, so is any big bank out there. Any big bank out there. So they're walking around flexing something that doesn't deserve a flex. And then they're like, yeah, 20% down, but it's really difficult to get in. That part is true, but here's the other part. 20% down is they're investing in the state of California's money, and they want it all back. Yeah, our money, the money they take from me and him and you, and you if you live in California, they're taking our money and they want it back. They're not even giving it to you. They're kind of lending it to you, but they're lending it to you dirty birdie. They're saying, hey, I'm willing to lend you some money, but I'm going to put a lien on your house to do it. That's what they'll be like, hey, Chris, hey, can I borrow $2,000? And you say, yeah, sure, no worries. I am going to put a lien on your house. In order for me to give you
back, and
then I want interest. Yeah.
And we're friends.
I know, that's crazy, man.
I'm helping you.
I'm helping you.
Helping
you. Do want that $2,000, right?
you.
Anyway, what do we got, man? What do we got?
Gavin Newsom did it again.
What did he do? What did he do this time?
Gavin Newsom. No, he's Cal Halfa, man.
I know.
Cal Halfa is Gavin Newsom. I don't know if you guys know who Gavin Newsom is, but he's this awesome governor in California. That's a joke. He's not an awesome governor at all. Who lies every time he speaks. Literally, lies fly out of his mouth every time he opens it.
How do you know Gavin Newsom is lying?
Because it's not the truth.
Because his lips are moving.
Ooh, dang. You want to hear a funny joke?
Tell me.
Okay, so this guy was on a boat, right? And then the motor died. Okay. But he was in shallow water.
Okay.
But he was wearing $600 shoes. And his car was at the shore ready to take him to the airport. Ready to take off.
All right.
How was this a political statement?
Gavin Newsom?
Roe v. Wade.
All right. I get it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you can row the boat to the shore, or you can wade through the shore.
Yeah.
But you're not sure. You're not sure. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to be. Yeah. I watched one of Joe Rogan's old stand-ups. He was
as good as me right now.
He was okay. Yeah, he was okay.
I'm just starting out, guys.
He was okay. He was okay. If you hadn't watched the one with him in Colorado, it's pretty good. But he was okay. He was okay. He's great now. But he had to work on all of it. But he knew it too. He wasn't even. He's like, I'm doing the best I can at this. I'm going to get better and better and better. That is like being a loan officer, or being an investor, buying houses. If after a while you get good at this stuff and you realize, I'm giving you 20% down. No, something in there is not 20% down. I can pretty much guarantee that's not 20% down that you're giving me, because nobody gives me 20%. Nobody. And whenever I talk with a client, I'm like, hey, listen, I need to break something to you that might hurt, but there's no free lunch. There's always a catch in a down payment assistance program. And they're like, Lee, I know that. I'm like, hey, cool. As long as you know that, I'll tell you what the catches are. That's what my superpower is. My superpower is I will figure out what the catch is. I will put it to you in plain English, and then you can choose to move forward or not, whether you want.
Joe Rogan's probably the least funniest in his circle. Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Is Amy Schumer in his circle?
No.
Okay.
He's the least funniest in his circle of friends. I'm a fanboy big time. I love his comedy. I love his podcast. I love the stuff he stands for. Yeah. But I can be honest, and I will go to all his shows, and I've been to a bunch of them. Least funniest in his circle.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Kill Tony is ironically unbelievably funny.
Tony Hinchcliffe's one of the funniest.
I had no idea till I watched the Eli Manning, the host of the roast of Tom Brady. Hinchcliffe came out. I've never seen him before. I don't know how I've never seen this guy, because I hear Kill Tony. I thought it was a different program. I didn't know it was Tony Hinchcliffe. And he came out, and I was like, all right, that's kind of funny. Oh, that was really funny. Oh, wow. This guy's good. Who is this guy? Tony Hinchcliffe. I'm like, who's Tony Hinchcliffe? Kill Tony. I'm like, oh, that's Tony Hinchcliffe? Shit, I didn't even know that. Because I have a house in Austin I go to. A lot of Joe Rogan, whenever he's around, still expensive. Even though he does it all the time, it's ridiculously expensive. But he packs the house every single time. And he's funny. Live, he's freaking funny. Yes. He's funny. And then he gets real comedians around him. You know, you get a kind of funny guy, and then you got a kind of funny opener, and a kind of funny opener, 2 or 3 kind of funny openers. Joe Rogan gets like hilarious people, man. He's great.
So we saw Tony Hinchcliffe last summer at the Forum. Killed it. And then we saw him in January at the Improv, and my girl did not like him at the Improv.
Really?
He gets raw. He gets real. He
like
walks
real stuff
on that edge.
Like real stuff.
Oh, that hurts me. Yeah, because he says some really crude stuff, but he's the funniest.
Like he breaks the lines. He's like,
you have to. This is comedy.
He goes, who is the guy? A guy comes out, comedian. He'll come to me in a second, but he says this is probably gonna get me canceled because trans people Not what they used to be. I thought it was
Who said
hilarious.
it?
Who thought it was hilarious?
It probably was.
Oh, the guy who does a.
Oh, what the head of show?
Yeah, he's a huge guy. He's huge. It'll come to me in a second, but it's huge. He's a gigantic comedian. If you know, put it in there. But he's the one who does. He's got that weird laugh. He's just amazing. I think he's one of the best comedians out there.
Crude guy?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. It'll come to me. The name will come to me. It always comes to me.
So what else you guys got? You want to know anything about mortgages, or you want to hear us talk about Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan.
Dude, he's got a lot of good podcasts right now.
Joe Rogan has one out. He's bridging this line where he's breaking from comedian, not even actor, but I don't know, commentator. But he's got this new podcast out with Iron Man sidekick. Terrence Howard. And it breaks into this whole new realm of like
genius.
When he's in Elon Musk territory, he's still talking. He'll say, I'm a Neanderthal talking to Elon Musk. And he talks Elon Musk Neanderthal stuff. It's like how a Neanderthal would talk to Elon Musk. And he's like, hey, will cars go to space? He's like, I already put one in space. Didn't you see? And he's like, oh, I guess we could check that box. Thank you. Duh. And he's like, hey, I'm a Neanderthal talking to you. All right, cool. But when he gets into this new Terrence Howard thing, Terrence Howard's not just going, yeah, we put a car in space, dummy. He's like, no, there's a sound wave that will change your chakras and change the way you live.
And it's purple.
What?
What are you talking about, Iron Man's buddy?
And he's like, yeah, I'm not just some little psycho weirdo something. Here's the patent on this. Here's the patent on that. Here's the patent on this. Hey, you have an iPhone? Yeah. Let me tell you how math doesn't work. And you're like, all right, this is bullshit. There's no way he can say math doesn't work. All right, cool. Put this in. And you do, and you're like, all right, wait a minute. The math isn't working. How did math get broken? How can math get broken?
Iron Man's friend broke math.
Dude, I was crazy. And I haven't even seen the whole thing. I've just seen the little clips here and there. And I'm sitting there going, okay, this is something. Now, for some reason, Terrence Howard is making my feed, and he's making some pretty big waves. And if what he's saying is true, he's channeling Nikola Tesla stuff. Like crazy, hey, we don't need electric companies. There's a way to generate electricity from water. Like, what do you mean from water? Oh, yeah, just put the water in the bin, charge it, and then you get a lightning bolt that comes out the front. You're like, wait, what? Hold on, back that up. Because I have water and I have access to electricity. Can I do this? Sure you can.
You know who he's like going back and forth with and locking horns with?
Who?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No way.
Yeah. He's like, his field of expertise is over here. I'm talking about this. I don't know why he's even bringing that up.
Well, I love Neil deGrasse Tyson. I do.
I think everybody does.
I love Bill Nye the Science Guy. I love them for two reasons. One, they just mainstream things so you can start thinking about them and doing your own experiments. So that's one big reason. Two is they're palatable for most of the world. Now, do I believe they are know all that they're talking about? No! Just like there's a woman I like, kind of like, but also despise named Susie Orman. Susie Orman is this waitress who became a financial guru. And she's a waitress.
Somewhere, bro.
And she's a waitress. Now, I got no problem with that. But the stuff she teaches is not right. And that's why I can't stand it. I do like that all the waitresses in the world are going, hey, maybe I should think about planning my financial future. So from that perspective, respect, thank you, I think you did great. Bill Nye, I think you did great. Neil deGrasse, I think you did great. Now, if you're dealing with the real techies, the real finance guys, the real nuclear physicists, the real scientists, the real taco mans. If you're dealing with the real, you don't belong in that atmosphere. I don't think you do. That's not taking away from the fact that you're a personality that made everything good for all the people out there, because I do think you did a good job with that. I don't think you belong in the same circle with the really smart guys, because listen, I'm in the world with finance, and I've been with the guys who really understand finance, like really understand it. Like the numbers, the finance. And then I understand the guys who understand markets and manipulation of markets. And the truth of the matter is, if you're really going to be successful, it's not necessary that you understand finance. It's understand that you understand mass psychology. What? Yeah, but you have to be way up here in order to understand that. because mass psychology is more important than finance. If you understand what the masses are going to do, you can make a fortune. You can make a fortune.
Pelosi.
What?
Nancy Pelosi's a genius.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
I think I'm ready to go.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for showing up. We appreciate you. We'll be here live tomorrow from Victoria Gardens. Check it out.
You want to hear about Iron Man's friend again?
We've been Chris and Lee. We're out.